Okay, how many we have? 10. Can you remind the other students to come to class immediately? Okay, so for everyone's convenience, what I'm going to do is I am going to write the instructions over here. So the objective is to calculate the weighted average cost of capital, and the steps involved are as follows. First, we will calculate, we will get returns on stock. We will take returns on market, calculate beta from Howard divide by variance formula. Then we are going to use the CAPM model to calculate cost of equity, and then we are going to use the WACC model to calculate cost. So these are the steps we are going to follow. Is it clear to everyone? You guys with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let us begin. Those who have their computers with me, all can do it along with me. If you have your mobile phones, it will be a little difficult, but you can follow through with me as such. What you can do is follow the steps I'm doing, copy the data accordingly. Um it is a little tricky, but you may have some moderate amount of success. So let us go ahead with it. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go to BSE India. So that's my favorite stock exchange, bseindia.com. When I go to bseindia.com, I am going to go to the section for market data. So let us find that. Okay, there's market data. There's market data products over there. So I go to market data products. In market data products, you can see on the right hand side over here, there is market data. So I go to market data. Here, I'm going to go and download historical prices. So I'm not interested in Bhav copy. I'm looking at historical stock prices. Can you guys see this over here? Historical stock price. So what I'll do is right click, open a new tab. So it is opening up on my new tab here. Give me a stock that you would like me to do. Which stock should I take up? Guys,
Okay, Tata Motors.
Tata Motors. Okay, there you have it. Tata Motors. We will take, I want the daily stock from 1st of June. The reason I'm taking I can take 6 months data, I can take 3 months data, I can do anything I want. Just a second. Okay, so I can take up 3 months data, I can take 6 months data, I can take 1 year's data. The reasoning for this and the logic for this is entirely whatever you want to assume. So if it is 3 months, I have more recent data. If it is 6 months data, it is a more long horizon when I'm looking at stuff. So but I feel usually a 6 months data is well justified as such. So we'll go for 6 months data. I'll take from, I'm going from June 1st all the way to today's date. Okay, that's 9th. I will go up to the download button, which is over here. There's a black button. I'm clicking on that. It says, do you want to save it? I say yes. The file has come. Then what I do is I go back to my, I know the file is downloaded. So I go to the Sensex data. Now for Sensex data, I go back to market data. In market, I have to go to, sorry, at the bottom over here, you will see indices. So I go and click on indices. In the indices, you will find indices historical prices. So I go to indices historical prices. I select the BSE Sensex. I choose daily, period is daily. Choose the exact same period from where you had started. So I go back to June, 1st of June. I go to the current date. I've selected. I download this file too. So the file has been downloaded now. I go to my download section. You can see both the files open over here. I click the first file. File has opened. I got the dates. I got the open price. I select the dates and open price. And I go to my original sheet, open up a new sheet. And then I'm going to paste my control copy. And I'm going to paste my data here. So this is Tata Motors. Okay. Now what I will do is I will go to my second information that is regarding Sensex. So this is related to Sensex. I'll copy this and I'm pasting it here. Now immediately you guys, if you're paying close attention, you will notice that they are not arranged in the right date. So this has to be brought to, so I'm going to sort all this information. I'm normalizing the data. So I'm putting oldest to newest. There it is. So 1st of June, 1st of June. Then I go right down 8th of December, 8th of December. Now what I need to do is, so what we've done is we've got our, actually I can break this into two steps. Download, so download Tata Motors on Sensex. So what we've done is we've finished the first one. We finished point number 3. Now I need to calculate the returns on stock. So how do I calculate my returns on stock? You guys know the formula for returns. How did I calculate returns last time? How do I calculate the
Equal
return?
to is equal
Yeah.
to first date divided by the second date divided by the first.
Yes. Final. Remember the formula. The formula
Yes,
says
sir.
final minus initial upon initial. Okay. So we'll go by that formula as such. Let's zoom in a little for you guys. Okay. So I'm going to use final. That is this amount. First I'll put a bracket. Final minus initial divided by initial. So I have my returns. I'll copy this, go down, paste this, go and I'll paste. So you see what I've done? I've finished the returns on both the stocks. Yeah, I've returned on both the stocks and I can now get it in percentage form or I can leave it as it is. Just a second. Yeah. Huh. चाबी shit, हाँ
आपको उधर बोल किसी ड्राइवर को बोलो उधर कार ला
ठीक, कहाँ पे रखना?
प्रिंटर नहीं है इधर।
प्रिंटर नहीं आता तो ड्राइवर को लेके जाओ ना, ड्राइवर को लेके जाओ, ले तुम्हारे ठीक है. Okay. So we now have the returns. So we have return for Tata Motors, and I have returns on Sensex. So I have this information with me, and since the dates are repeated over here, I will delete one of the dates. So now what we've done is we've calculated returns on Tata Motors. We have this information, which is of importance, and we have this information, which is of importance. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is, if you look at this, so we finished point number 3, point number 4. And now we'll calculate the beta formula. We all know the beta formula. We had studied it yesterday, not yesterday, a few days back. And the beta formula is what? Can someone tell me? Is equal to what?
Over.
Covar. So I will write down here as, give me a second, covar of array 1. So I'll take my returns of Tata Motors, comma, returns of the Sensex, bracket close, divided by variance, that is var, of my Sensex. Okay. So I get my beta as how much? 1.38. Clear? Has everyone understood till now? Guys, any help till now required? Any help required till now? Was it clear? I will assume this is clear till now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this beta in my SAPM model. So we had already learned in the SAPM model over here that, I'll duplicate this, that COE, cost of equity, is RF plus beta into RM minus RF. Now my risk-free rate of return, I'm going to assume this to be as 5%. Hope it's clear to everyone. 5%. Okay. Beta is how much over here? 1.385 and 383. 1.383 for Tata Motors in 2021. Okay. So we have this information. Then I have what is my expected rate of return on equities. On equity, when I'm investing, I would want at least 13%. Okay. So now my risk rate of premium becomes how much? 13 minus 5 is 8%. Is it clear to everyone what I've done to here? Guys, are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I've done this and now I'm going to punch in all the information. So for RF, I'm going to replace this and I'm going to put 5%. For beta, I'm going to replace this. I'm going to put 1.383 and here I'm going to put 13% and here I'm going to put 5%. So if I were to calculate this, what will I get? Is equal to 5% plus 1.383 into 8%. This if I solve, I get 5% plus 1.8 into 1.8 is how much? Let me calculate. 8 into 1.383, that is 11.064. So 11.064%, and this is equal to 16.064%. So can you see my cost of equity? It means if I am an investor in Tata Motors, okay, during this period, during the last 6 months, if I'm an investor, I would want to see Tata Motors giving me 16% dividend. All right, that is what I expect from Tata Motors as such. Now, uh, when I look at this 16%, it is not necessary that I'm looking at only the dividend. I don't mind if Tata Motors even gives me a capital appreciation also. If the stock price has risen um, from 100 rupees to 116 rupees, I will consider it good enough. So let us see how much has the stock price increased during that same period. Okay, we have the data for Tata Motors. It was 319. So on day one, the stock price was 319. On day, on last day, it was how much? Let us see, 484. Can you see the stock price right down at the bottom? On 8th of December. People,
Yes,
hello.
sir.
Sir, can you
Okay.
repeat, sir?
Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm looking at on day one. On 1st of June, my stock price was how much? 319. You can see it right here. Okay. You can see it is 319 rupees.
Yes,
On
sir.
the last day,
Yes.
if I go right down on 8th of December, the same stock price is how much? 484.
So it is increase in
Yes.
165.95
So
rupees.
let us see, 484. Okay. If I take percentage returns, how much is this? This is equal to final minus initial divided by initial. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this, if I put the figures, I get this
484 divided by 1.
minus this divided by this.
319.
I get 51%. Okay. So can you see what has happened right now? Whether or not Tata gives me dividend, I am still going to be happy. Why? Because I already earned 52% returns in the last 6 months when I was expecting how much? Only 16% returns. Are you understanding what's happening?
Yes, sir.
So in fact, this becomes a nice way to see when you want to exit the company. Suppose I expect 16% returns for my investment for 6 months from capital asset pricing model. If I see that I'm getting more than 16, I'm getting three times the amount what I'm getting from what I expected, now is a good time to encash it. I can just encash this money, use the money somewhere else, reinvest it in another stock. So you see how capital asset pricing model helps you decide whether the timing is right or wrong. Okay, although it's not supposed to be used like this, but this is one of the additional bonuses that you can use it for. Clear? So actual. Okay. So now we will go to the next step. I have my cost of equity. I have it at 16% over here. Now I'm going to find out what is my weighted average cost of capital. Okay, for the company, I'll find out what is the cost that I have to incur. Now, for this, I've made certain assumptions. Can someone read the assumptions here? Let us assume there's this particular company which has an equity of how much? What is given?
30 lakh.
30 lakhs.
Yes. And the debt that I have in the company is how much?
1 crore
Crore
53 lakhs.
53 lakh.
1 crore 53 lakh.
Wonderful. What is the interest at which I'm getting this loan from the bank at?
8.15%.
8.15%.
8.15%. Okay. And what is the corporate tax rate right now?
30%, sir.
30%.
30%.
Okay. So let us substitute the values. We knew I got my COE from the last exercise. How much was my COE? Cost of equity was 16.04. Right? Guys, you can see this cost of
Yes, sir.
equity.
Yes.
So then I
Yes,
take
sir.
this and I put 16 0.04%. Okay. Then I take E and I substitute with 30 lakhs. And here again it is 30 lakhs. Kevin, what does that sound? Everyone's hearing it. I hope you're not
It's
farting in
pen, sir.
class.
No,
Huh?
it's pen. It's pen.
It's your pen? Okay, fine. Okay. So it just sounded very weird. That's why. So now I put in the figures over here. Interest is 8%. Okay. So I have my once again 8% interest also added over here. 1 minus 30. Correct? Now debt is how much? 1.53 lakh crore. And this is again 30 lakhs plus 1.53. Is this correct? That's
Hello, sir.
Sir, it is interest is
Interest is 8
for
point.
8.15%.
oh yes,
So why
correct.
you have taken only 8%?
Because I'm a silly boy, so it has to be 8.15 only. All right, I do a lot of stupid, silly mistakes like this, so it's good you all bring it to my attention. So with this, can you see what we have achieved? Now, can you all calculate this at your end? I will also calculate at my end. So this I can write it as this is equal to 16 plus 0.04%. 30 divided by 1.83 is how much? 30 divided by 1.83 is, what the hell, sorry, not 30, it is zero point 0.3, because 30 lakhs is 0.3 divided by 1.83 crore. So it is 0.1639. Plus 8.15% into, if I take 1 minus 30%, remember what is 30% called in decimal?
0.03.
0 point, not 0.03, it's only 0.3. That's 30 divided by 100. 30 divided by 100 is 0.3. Okay. And if I take 1 minus 0.3, how much do I get? I get
7.
0.7. Okay. Into this figure. One 1.53 divided by 1.83. So 1.53, 1.83. I get 0.836 into 0.836. I get this answer. Can someone solve this and give me quickly? So how much is this? 16% into 0.1639 is how much? That is 16% into 0.1639. 2.6224. So 2.6224% plus 8.15, that is 8.15 into 0.7 into 0.836. 0.836 is 4.769. 4.769%. This is equal to 7.39. Okay, so my WACC works out to be how much? 7.39%. Now, can someone tell me what is the significance of this WACC? What is the significance of this statement? Someone who's online can tell me what does it mean? WACC. The definition of WACC itself will tell you what it is. Now, when I say
Sir, it
capital, what do
is
I
a
mean by?
return. Sir, it is a return
Yes,
that is lender and the shareholder accept to receive in the return of their investment.
yes. So it is the return that the lenders and the shareholders expect for the money that I've taken from them. Now, how much money has the company taken from these people? How much is the total money they have taken?
1 crore 83 lakhs.
They've taken 1 crore 83 lakhs. That is 1 crore 50 from banks and 30 from equity. Now, one of these is more expensive than the other. Which one is more expensive?
Debenture.
Number-
What?
Bank.
Debentures at 8.5%. Foolish.
It's bank.
Equity.
Debt.
Equity is more expensive. ए कौन है ये डेट डेट बोल रहा है?
सर
Kiran?
डेट हमने क्यों बोला क्योंकि उसको कुछ नहीं दिया तो भी ठीक है, दिया तो भी ठीक है.
No, but which one is more okay? In the long run, maybe something else. But right now, when I look at apples to apples, isn't my equity more expensive? They expect me to pay them 16% per year. If they don't, then I'm in a whole lot of trouble. But the guys from the bank expect me to pay only 8.15%. I think I made a mistake once again. No? It can't be lower than the average of the two. It has to be somewhere in between. Give me a second. Did I make a mistake somewhere? Oh no, but I'm getting 30% rebate also. Oh yeah, I'm getting 30%. No, it's fine. It's fine. Absolutely fine. So what happens is I needed 1.83 crore. Now in this 1.83 crore, I could not go to the equity entirely. If I would have gone entirely to equity, what would have been my cost of capital? How much would it have cost me to get this 1.83 crore? 16%. Means every year I have to give out 16% either in dividends or improvement in my share price. So what I did was, out of 1.83 crore, I only asked 30 lakhs from the equity markets, and the remaining 1.53 I went to the debt market and I picked up loans of 1.53, and that is how I get an average weighted cost of capital of only 7.39%. So isn't this like great for the company? Means out of 1 lakh 53, so let us look at it this way. If capital, okay, so 1.83 crore, 1.83 crore capital at the rate of 16.04%. Suppose I took 1.83 crore entirely from equity. Okay, let us write it down here. 1 crore 83 lakhs. Okay. Suppose I took this amount from equity, from debt, and combined. What I would get is 16.04%, sorry,
8.15% debt.
8.15% and 7.39%. If I would have gone with option number one, I would have to pay this amount. Wait a second, it'll come up just now. So if I went with option number one with entirely equity, every year I would have to at least pay out 29 lakhs. If I went with only with debt, I would have to pay 14 lakhs 91,000. But because I went with a combined system, I'm getting it at 13 lakhs 52,000. Can you see the benefit? And more importantly, no bank would allow me to take the entire money from the bank itself. They will not allow me to take 1 crore 83. They will only give me 1 crore 50. They'll say manage the 30 from yourself. So then I'm stuck. So that is why companies go to the equity markets to pick up some amount of equity. Then they go to the debt market to pick up a lot more of debt so that they get a very good interest rate and their outgoing per month reduces the best. Can you see how this works? Seen the benefit?
Yes, sir.
It's 290, 293. So this is approximate, let's write down 29 lakhs. This is 14.9 lakhs. And this is 13.55 lakhs. All right. I want all of you to just write down all these formulas so that you don't forget it. Yeah. So everyone note this down onto your books. Device. Okay, I'll quickly take you all through what I did just now. I first went to the old beta. I calculated the beta for this. I took down daily prices of Tata Motors and I took out the daily prices of the Sensex. I calculated the returns from final minus initial divide by initial for Tata Motors and for the Sensex. From that, I calculated beta, which is the covariance divided by variance. Once I had the beta figure, I went simply to the formula of CAPM. The CAPM formula, which is cost of equity equal to RF plus beta into RM minus RF. I simply just put the figures inside. 5%, then I calculated beta from the Excel file. I put the beta there. 13 minus 5, got those figures. From that, I got my cost of equity. My cost of equity came up to 16%. Then from that, I use that cost of equity comes into the COE, which you see over there. So now I look at my weighted average cost of capital. I see its cost of equity into proportion of equity plus cost of debt into proportion of debt. I punch in all the values and tada, I get the answers. So the figures, if you notice at the bottom, I have a situation here. This is the company which I've assumed and where I've assumed the equity is 30 lakhs. What I was hoping on everyone doing was you will go to the company that you had already chosen. You will check how much equity they have. You will check how much debt they have. You will punch in all the figures of your company inside and you will calculate the weighted average cost of capital for the company that you have chosen. But since all of y'all don't have your laptops with y'all, I am forced to do this exercise by myself and this I am presenting it to you. What we can do right now is, or not right now, we can do it in a day or two when you come back to college. Some of you are coming back to college next tomorrow. You all can calculate for the company of your choice because, mind you, this will come for the exam, and I will rank. So what I'm going to do is this problem is surely coming for exam. I on the day of the exam, I will give out a list of companies which will be secret and known only to me. That list of companies will appear in your question paper. Okay. Once that list appears, you have to calculate the the weighted average cost of capital for that company by yourself and put the answer in the answer sheet, Google form. So what I would suggest is, please take this seriously, solve it by yourself. If you don't have the, what do you call, if you're a little unsure about the formulas or the process, you can ask me right now. I'm more than happy to explain it to you and I'll teach you how it has to be done.
So in that cost of capital, that 40% and 5%,
Huh? In the cost of capital?
it is like
Yeah,
COE.
yeah.
At 13% and 5% is from website or
These are my justifications. You all are free to use my justification as such. If you put any other figure, then please justify it along with in the calculation. Why you chose, if at all you want to write 4%, then tell me why you chose 4%. If you say it's 13, if you say 12% or 16%, tell me why you feel it's 16%.
this is usually that is
This is
expected
usually
from
what I would do.
equity market, that is
Yes, this is what is
13% and 5% is bank rate.
bank rate. So those who are online, do you all have any further questions regarding this?
So today we will solve and tomorrow we will answer the queries.
Yeah. So you solve it today. I will open up this one for demo. I will put up random this one on Google Classroom. You'll calculate it for those random companies and give the answers. Or what you do is for the company that you've already chosen, calculate it, solve it, put your answers on the Google Classroom. I'm going to create one assignment for you by today evening. So tomorrow you can submit it. But please understand this question is coming. The only difference is you do not know what company is going to come. So there's no way in hell you're going to copy the answers. So
Are
if
you
you,
going to upload this PPT also?
the PPT is online, you can take it anytime. There is no restriction on how you do stuff. I just want you to do the example. This is like life. When you go to work, you have all the formulas there. No one's going to stop you. But despite the formulas, can you solve it quickly within the time given to you? That is important. Alrighty. So with this, I move to the next topic, that is understanding balance sheets. Okay. So actually, we're supposed to do the efficient market theory. I'll teach you the efficient market theory. As per syllabus, you're supposed to know what is an efficient market theory. What it says is that whatever share price you see for any stock at any given point of time is the sum total of all the knowledge that is available for that particular stock. Okay. So if at all today's price, let us go and check Tata Motors share price. Okay. So get quote Tata Motors. Okay. Okay. Tata Motors is quoting at 493 today. All right. So what it means is the share price of Tata Motors. See, oopsie. Okay, students, are you with me online?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
battery is low.
But then, actually, you saw the back. Okay, everyone saw it.
So we
Okay,
attend.
fine. Oh, very nice. Okay, give me a second. Give me a second. So, right, I am going to repeat the same thing on my phone itself. So we go to bseindia.com. Okay. In BSE India, I'm going to go to my Tata Motors. Tata Motors Limited. Oh, yeah. One second. Are you able to see my screen now?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you can see Tata Motors is 493, and if you notice, it the opening price was 498. Right now, the price is 493, but if you look at the opening price, it was 498. What does it mean? That in the morning, people had some information about Tata Motors, and by evening, people updated their information. And in that updated information, they realize some people feel that Tata Motors is not as what do you call lucrative as what others feel. And these some people would have sold Tata Motors stock. And because whenever there are more people selling than more people interested in buying, which side does the stock price go? Which direction does the stock
Downside.
price go?
Downside.
It goes down, right? If there are more interested in selling than more interested in buying, then the stock price will go down. And that's what's happened to Tata Motors. And all of this happens real time, really quickly. So, what the efficient market hypothesis says is just by looking at the price, only by looking at the price, it will give you some indicator of the overall health of the company. If something is going positive, if something is going negative, if there is some issue which has come, this price fall could have been because yesterday our honorable CDS, Chief of Defence Staff, Mr. Rawat, had passed away in the accident. So maybe they thought some orders related to the defense which Tata Motors executes may be affected by it, and because of that the prices would have fallen. I don't know, I'm just guessing. Or it could be that some new competitor has launched an electric vehicle, and because of which people feel that Tata Motors will lose the sales a little compared to the competitor. So that could be another reason. So there are multiple reasons because of which you could have a problem as such. But and that is reflected where? Where will you see all this? In the markets. You will see this in the markets. You may not see all the information in the balance sheet, but on the share price, for sure you will see it, because there may be people who are insiders who are working in the finance department of Tata Motors. They may have shares of Tata Motors, and when they know there is a problem coming up, they may be the first to sell. So the moment it sells, the price will go down. The moment the price go down, you get an indicator something wrong has happened. If the price goes up, what does it tell you?
Company is working good.
Means something, some information has come into the company, that someone knows some information because of which he feels it is worth buying Tata Motors share price. And this sort of what do you call, like I would
Indications.
say indication of, like everything boiling down into this one singularity called a share price. Okay, all, whether it is tax, whether it is price, whether it is innovation, everything finally boiling down into this one little figure here is what is termed as efficient market hypothesis. Okay, clear to everyone? Hola, clear?
Yes, sir. So your screen is not visible.
Okay, is it visible now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I know there's some Facebook ad which has propped up and some random lady has come over there. Okay, so, yeah. So this is regarding the efficient market hypothesis. Now what we'll do is let us go into Tata Motors shares, and now let us understand certain aspects of the balance sheet and the P&L. So whenever I have to go to a share to look at the balance sheet, where do I go? I go to the company website. Yes, okay. I see even here they should have something online. Let me see. Let me see. Okay, fine. Actually, I don't even have to go to the company website. Uh, Give me a second. Ay, 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 ay. Yes, it is me. Okay, so if I go down to, okay, you see financials here. There are annual reports and there are results. So let us results section. Now, if I go to the annual reports, I'll get everything there. But good, there are quarterly results which are uploaded over here. Well and nice for me. I can look at these results and understand. Now, if you look at June, in June their revenue was 11,904. All this period, all this is in million. So they made 11 billion rupees, and unfortunately in September it has fallen down. Okay, it's gone down to 10. So not a good sign as such. Other income also is not too great. So total income is so much. They've been making a loss. If you look at the losses in the previous year, they've made a terrible loss. And all these quarters, they've been making losses as such. But if you look at the stock prices have been going up. And this is some mystery which even I don't understand. I, probably when I go to in the afterlife, if I meet God and then I ask him, "कि क्या चल रहा है भाई?" Okay.
God will be like, लोग ये पृथ्वी पे बना है, तुम जान दो उधर, मेरे को
हाँ,
नहीं पता इधर.
तो भगवान भी बोलेगा भाई तुम लोग करते क्या है नीचे. So, but this is the situation that we are in. Okay. But now, if I, this is a good way to look at all the data combined. It gives you quarter by quarter. But it's always better to open up the balance sheet and look at the balance sheet and how things work as such. So we're going to the annual report section. I get 2021, download the report, and there you have it. Tata Motors. Okay. So let us scroll down to the balance sheet and P&L, and let us understand components of the balance sheet. Now, if I ask you, what is the difference between a balance sheet and a P&L, how will you best describe it to me? Suppose I was a small child. I was as small as my daughter. How would you explain this to me?
PNL is generally gives information about income and expenditure.
That is by definition. Tell me what it
सर
means.
सर कितना आया कितना गया,
It gives
ये खर्चा
कितना
किया है
as
और ये
your
अपने
and
ये
balance
खर्चा किया है
as on
और ये
cash
पैसा
paid.
अपने को आया है.
Kun, wow, Kevin, super, very nice. I like Kevin's explanation better. So what Kevin is saying is, it is the sum total of kitna paisa aaya or kitna paisa gaya. And I think there is no better beauty than this. Kevin, fabulous condensation of a very complex topic. And this is exactly what is required. Unfortunately, I can't find the damn balance sheet over here. Okay. BALA. And what about the now you told me about the P&L. If I ask you what is a balance sheet, what will you tell me?
सर कितना अपना है कितना पराया.
Kitna, okay, so there we've reached the balance sheet section. Kitna apna hai? I think in fact what you're saying is absolutely right, but it's just so funny the way you say it, right? It's unexpected. Kitna
सर
apna
ऐसा याद जल्दी रहता है.
oh, okay, fine. Okay, that's nice. Absolutely fine. Can't see it properly. Okay, one second. Let me zoom in a little more so that you can see it properly. Okay. I think now you can see it properly.
Yes sir.
Okay. So in this, if you notice carefully, you will notice we won't open the balance sheet. We will look at the P&L first. Okay. So the P&L is basically the sum total of all the transactions that have happened in a particular year. It is the sum total of all the transactions that have happened. Means kitna paisa andar aaya, kitna paisa bahar gaya. Thank you, Kevin. So if you look at the P&L, it starts off with revenue. And whenever you look at a P&L of any company, always look at it in terms of this broad 5 classifications. Okay. The first is your revenue. Second comes as your direct. So in your direct expenses, you have direct material, direct labor, and direct expenditure. Then your next heading comes as indirect expenditure. And your last is your profit. So when I go to my first section, you see right on top revenue is given. So there's like 46, what is this? Crores, 46,000 crore revenue has happened. Then if you look at in my expenses section over here, 30,000, the biggest heading, the biggest cost that I have to bear is this thing over here. Cost of goods sold, that is my direct material, which is around 30,000 crore. After I told you, after direct direct material comes direct labor. So you see my employee benefits over here. So this is all my employee. So I spent 4,000 crore on salaries and other miscellaneous expenditure. After that comes all my direct expenditure. So like finance costs, I needed finance to buy material. I needed finance to set up the factory for all these things. Then last comes my indirect expenditure, and these are all my other indirect expenditures. So you got this? When I say P&L, I told you divided into 5 parts. So the first part is what? Online guys. First part is what?
Revenue.
Very nice. Second part is what?
Expenses.
So my direct material, direct labor, and direct expenditure. Third part is what?
Indirect expense.
Indirect expenses. And last is what? Profit. So you usually have profit before tax, then you have tax, and you have profit after tax. So a typical profit and loss statement will follow the exact same model all the time. So if I open Tata Motors, I will see the same heads. If I go to another company, I will see the same expenditures. Maybe the ratios may be a little different, but overall you will find a similar workflow in the P&L. All right. So is this part clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
All good? What we'll do now is we looked at the P&L statement. Now let us go to the balance sheet statement. Now you have to realize a balance sheet is more like a snapshot. Suppose I were to stand with a camera in front of the company on the 31st of March 2021 and I took a photograph. Now in this photograph, only the financial elements of the company are captured. Whatever I get on that day, midnight of 31st of March, is what is called as the balance sheet elements. Means when I take the photo, I'm going to see how much cash balance is there in the bank. I'm going to see what investments I have. I'm going to see what liabilities I have. I'm going to see what assets I have. And that is exactly what we will see over here. Okay. So you have the assets on top. And the way the assets are classified is you have your long-term assets first, then you have your short-term assets. So in a factory like Tata Motors, what are the long-term assets that the company has? So if you look at the balance sheet first, right?
Machinery,
Before machinery is what is long-term. Machinery also will degrade.
property,
Property. So you have land and property, which is your first primary asset. And that itself is around, if you look at this thing, it's around 19,000 crore. Actually, if you go to see Tata Motors' actual land that they have, it is more than maybe 5 lakh or 10 lakh crore. But since they don't reevaluate it with current market prices, the valuation is 30 years back. That is why this amount seems very small. But if you were to reevaluate it at today's terms, it would be a huge amount. Okay. So property, plant, and equipment, that is 19,000 crore. Then you have other assets like work in progress assets. It means raw materials, other small tangible things, investments, loans and advances, money which they have given to other people and they are supposed to return back. So all of these other things will come under my assets. Long. Give me a second. Okay. After your long-term assets, which are also called as non-current. Current means something which is immediate. When I say non-current, it means long-term. The next section, if you see in the blue, which is highlighted, current assets. Those refer to assets which are there on a temporary basis and which will be used for manufacturing so that I can produce more cars. So if you look at it, first is inventory. They have financial assets like small short-term investments. If you notice, there are financial assets in long-term and financial assets in short-term. Can you give me one difference what long-term and short-term financial assets mean? Any one of you, can you tell me why there is long-term financial assets and short-term financial assets?
So long time is for more than 3 years and short term is for 1 to 3 years.
Mm, okay, that's a very good way of defining it. So I may have certain assets which are like in the money market, commercial paper. Now, commercial paper may be for 3 months or 6 months, 12 months. Now, these assets are very short term in nature. I know I've invested money within 3 months, that money is going to come back. So, those investments are around 1 crore or 1,500 crore. And why does the company invest in these type of short term assets? Why not all of them in long
For
term assets?
liquidity.
Liquidity, yes, because suppose I need to buy some items which are worth 1,000 crore. I have to buy steel worth 1,000 crore. Now, obviously, I don't buy steel every day. I buy it once in 2 months or once in 3 months. So I can put that money for 1 month investment, and the day of that I need to buy it, I will liquidate my investment. I will use that money to buy the steel that I need. That's why I need short-term investments. Also, I may have a plan to set up another factory. Today I have a factory in Pune. I may have a plan to set up a factory, suppose in Chennai. So for that, I need around, say, how much? Say 500 crore, 1,000 crore. So what I will do is some of the money which I have right now, I'm going to put in long-term assets. I'm going to keep for a long-term asset. And if you look at my non-current financial asset, point number H, in H, there is financial assets and there is sub-investment I1 investment. You'll see there's 967 crore mentioned over there. So that may be usually which I have money to set up another factory, or I have some long-term liability which I want. And this is the money which I'm going to keep over there, set aside so that it doesn't disturb my short-term practice. And I can get better interest rates for long-term investments. Just like how you go to a bank. If you go to a bank and tell them, I want to invest money for 3 months in a fixed deposit, they will give you only around 5%. You tell them, I want to invest it for 5 years, and they'll give you around 5.5, 6%. That's how the markets work. So some investments I put long term, some investments I put short term. Now, what are trade receivables? Can someone tell me? 2BI.
The amount which we have to receive from our daters.
From our debtor. So we have sold. Suppose we sold some trucks and buses to government agencies. Now the government agency does not give money in advance. They will place an order, and they will pay you after 60 days or 90 days. So the money doesn't come immediately, but you know the money is coming for sure. So that is why you call it as trade receivables. It's a receivable from the trade that you have made, and that is around 2,000 crore. Then there are cash and cash equivalents. That is, this is the money which is ideally kept in the bank as such, which I use for daily expenditure. And then there are minor loans, other financial assets. So this is how the assets are classified. The assets start with the most long-term asset that you have, and at the bottom of that is the most short-term asset that you have. Is it clear to everyone? All the commerce students, arts students, and science students that are here?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All clear? Okay. Now let us look at the liability side. The liability side also goes through a similar situation. One sec. I. Yeah. Okay. So don't be confused with the total assets that is mentioned on top. Go one level down and you will see equity and liabilities. In the equity and liability section, you will notice that right on top is the equity. Now, as I told you, it starts from very long term and ends at very short term. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So, on a very long term, which liability is the longest as such?
Equity.
Equity, because the shareholders are stuck forever, correct? As long as the company exists, the shareholders will exist. So, right on top is my equity. And how much is my equity? How many crore is it? How many crore is my equity?
765.81 crore. 12. Where do you see 12? Yeah, equity. What is my equity? So my total equity is 90,000 crore. Okay, means it's actually seven. My main equity share capital is 765. I need to find out what is the other equity that they're talking about. Maybe it is some preference shares, or there are some other class of shares which may or may not have. What do you call this? I'm not getting the name. It
Convertible,
may,
non-convertible.
yes, it may be convertible, non-convertible bonds or something of those type as such. So the pure shares are only 765 crore worth, but there are a lot of other types of other classifications of shares which may not have voting rights, which are worth around 18,290 crore. All right. After equity, when I go down, comes my next longest liability, and those are long-term loans. So you see, there are borrowings, lease liabilities, and financial liabilities. So the loans that I have are around, can you see, 16,000 crore worth long-term?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So those are the ones which I have to pay. All of these categories totally, if I look down, it comes to the one in bold is 19,752. Okay. So now if you look at my debt to equity, how much debt and how much equity I have, you remember when we did the study earlier, uh, we did the study earlier. Yeah, we had taken equity as only 30% and debt as around 70 or 80%. But if you look at the actual statement of this one of Tata Motors, equity is almost 50%, debt is almost 50% of the total capital. Yes or no? Can you see it? Equity and debt. Equity is totally around 19,000 crore and debt is also around 19,000 crore. Do you all see that?
Yes, sir. It's 50-50. Equity
It's,
and debenture hybrid.
yes. So ideally, what I should have done was over here, where I'll just duplicate my slide, duplicate this slide. This should have been 19,055, 19,055 crore, and this should be 19,752 crore. 19,752 crore. All right. So this is how the numbers are supposed to look like. And when you do the calculation, then you will get a slightly different figure. But uh, you guys can do it in your spare time if you're interested. I will just delete all of these figures right now. Yeah. So this is how the Tata's information should look. Yes. Even another thing is the interest that I've considered as 8.15%. I will have to dig into the balance sheet and figure out what is that figure. In fact, I don't have to dig too much. Huh? No need of annexures also. If I go to my P&L and I look out for interest paid, it's always in the P&L. See, finance cost. Now, if you look at my finance cost, how much is that? 2,358. Means if I take 2,000, I pay 2,358. Is that crore? No, in crores. Okay. Crores out of a total debt of 19,750. Divide by 19,752 into 100. Can you see? My interest rate, Tata has been paying an interest rate of 11.93%. Pretty damn high, huh, considering it's Tata. Like I get better interest rates than that. Okay. And हम तो झूठा भी नहीं. Okay. So 11.93, that's crazy, yeah. They are paying like shit tons of money for as interest for something that they can get. They can go to SBI. State Bank will give them 7% and 6%. Chutia one CFO is sitting over there, I'm sure. Okay, who's that idiot? Let us find out who's the CFO of Tata. 1 second. Tata Motors CFO. So getting a good salary also. He looks only like an idiot. Okay, 2 slaps you must give him on his face and tell him, bro, You're using the wrong thing. Okay. So, but did you all see what happened just now? Were you able to see the balance sheet? How we calculated? Where did that go? Yeah. See what we did? How we calculated the interest? We went to the balance sheet. From the balance sheet, we got our total interest. No, we got our total loans. We got the total debt. After getting the total debt, we went to the P&L and we got the total finance cost. And finance cost divided by debt gives us what? Interest rate. So from that, we will be able to calculate that Tata is picking up money at 11.93%, which is way higher than I thought. And, कसम से, and let me see this Harami's salary, how much he gets. चला हमको डूबना पड़ेगा हमको यार सुन के salary भी आ रहा है. What is that? Okay, so this fellow gets 23 lakhs per month. Wow. For doing a shitty job. Okay. I know I should join. I should send you an application. You know what? Sometimes I feel I'm doing the wrong thing. Yeah. बच्चों को पढ़ा के ना लाइफ में बर्बाद करा रहा हूँ यहाँ पे. But I don't want to do any assignment. Right. Yeah, that is why I'm teaching. Oh, superb. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, yes, surely, surely. No, what I always hope is one day that something great may come out of the students I'm teaching and they will help the entire race become proud.
नहीं
So,
सर, आपको
yes,
पॉलिटिशियन में जाना चाहिए.
politician.
पॉलिटिकल
चलेगा?
करियर में.
Yeah, yeah, you have to vote for me, but after that, don't worry. So
Yes, sir.
till I become Pradhan Mantri, okay, I will teach you guys at least. So in case my dreams don't get fulfilled, one of you will definitely become someone very famous and ambitious, and you will fulfill certain dreams that I have. Alrighty. So till here, is it clear what we've done?
Yes, sir.
Now, we went through the long-term liabilities. Let us look at the short-term liabilities. So in the short-term liabilities, there are some small borrowings. There are lease liabilities, means that they kept some land on lease and they have to pay money for that. There are trade payables. Trade payables means they have bought raw materials. Tata has bought steel, plastics, wheels, tires, horn, windscreen, seats, falana, dingara, all those. And they have to pay those people a sum total of 7,900 plus 1,600. Means around 8,000 crore they have to pay. Got it? So at any given point of time, they have to collect how much money? We looked at the asset side. Trade receivables was how much? 2,300 was my trade receivables. Sorry, 2,000 was my trade receivables right here. And 8,000 is my trade payables. Now, this is usually the case in all automobile companies. You go to any automobile company, they don't give much credit. Like if you go to buy a car, can you tell them, मैं आज तुम्हारा Tata Harrier लेके जा रहा हूँ, ओके, और पैसा दूंगा 6 महीने बाद? Does it happen?
सर रास्ता बताएगा सामने शोरूम का.
हाँ, बराबर बोलेगा. आगे है एक, मैंने गाड़ी पार्क करके, मेरा नहीं, कस्टमर का एक गाड़ी है, तू ढाका डाल, गाड़ी उठा, नो प्रॉब्लम, बट फ्रॉम मी यू विल नॉट गेट इट लीगली. So that is why their trade receivables are less, but their trade payables are always high, because all these big companies, they like to arm twist the smaller MSMEs and make money from that. All right. Alles klar?
एक बार वापस रिपीट करो.
कौन सा वाला? Because I'm recorded. That's why ये कोई टाटा CFO को जाके भेजने वाली है क्या?
नहीं, लास्ट सर सेंटेंस की.
So all these companies, most of these big companies, they normally arm twist the smaller companies. They will collect the money in advance, but they will not pay the suppliers in advance. You got it? And that is
Yes, sir.
reflected in the balance sheet. When you look at the balance sheet itself, you will notice this happening. You see the trade payables, they have to pay 8,000 crore. They have to receive only 2,000 crore. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So, that idiot Bajaj who's sitting over there as CFO, right? What he'll do is, he will, that Balaji, whatever his name was.
आगबी बालाजी.
ये ढापना जो बैठा है यहाँ पे.
पीबी बालाजी.
हाँ, PB Balaji, नाम ही वैसा रखा है. So now what he will do is, he will tell Tata Motors, he will tell Ratan Tata, sir, Ratan Tata, देखिए, मैंने आपका अगर ये जो 8,000 करोड़ जो अपने को देना था लोगों को, ओके, वी हैड टू गिव देम इन एडवांस, हमने पैसा तो लिया एडवांस में, पैसा देना भी चाहिए था ना एडवांस में, लेकिन नहीं दिया पैसा, अपने जेब में रखा हो, वो पैसा वो जाके इन्वेस्ट किया इन शॉर्ट टर्म इन्वेस्टमेंट्स एंड लॉन्ग टर्म इन्वेस्टमेंट्स, एंड उसके ऊपर ब्याज खाएगा. So now suppose I take 8,000 crore which I'm supposed to pay the suppliers, and that money I put it in investments, and suppose I make a very modest 7% this thing on it, profit on it. So let us say 8,000 crore into 0.07 means 7%. This becomes 560 crore. So what these assets do, right? These CFOs, it happens in many companies. I know this for a fact. They will tell the company that, look at this, without taking any money from you, from your company, I have made a profit of 560 crore. इसमें से मुझे क्या मिलने वाला है? And they get around 5% to 10% of these type of profits. They get it in stock options, in other, like when you look at the equity, remember I showed you there was other equity, 18,000 over here. A lot of these are sometimes stock options also, which are held by these type of people. So it's a dirty game as such, but you can't help it. This is how the way the industry works. It's maybe Tata Motors has a little more ethics compared to the others, but all are bloody scoundrels and rogues when it comes to this. Okay, because humans are themselves are that way. Can't help it. Human nature. But this is the hardline fact. So instead of actually, his job actually as a CFO is to bring down the finance cost to such a low level that he can make this 500 crore profit. Now I'll just give you an example. His total borrowings are how much? 19,000 crore. 19,000 crore. Interest he's paying how much? We saw it in the P&L.
11%. 11%.
11%. Actual value कितना आया था? Actual value, so 19,000 crore का into 2,000 crore he has paid as interest. Suppose he went to State Bank of India and took 19,000 crore. State Bank tells him, यार तुम Tata Motors है, मैं तेरे को 60% पे देता हूँ. How much he'll have to pay? 1,300 crore ब्याज. He paid how much? 2,090 minus 1,300. 2,090 minus 1,330. He could have actually made a profit of 760 crore if he would have only taken my advice. But no. Okay. वो
कांटेक्ट नंबर नहीं था उनके पास आपका.
कांटेक्ट नंबर नहीं है यार. आई थिंक यू गाइस हैव टू अपलोड दिस वीडियो ऑनलाइन एंड मेक इट वायरल, और उसके ट्विटर पे उसको ऐड करना चाहिए भाई से कर, और उसमें से 2% तो मेरे यहाँ पे भेज, अकाउंट नंबर भी भेजता हूँ उसको. बट ठीक है. सो यू गॉट द पॉइंट. यू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू डू?
यस सर.
ओके. एनी क्वेश्चंस अप टू हियर?
बट सर वो पूरा पैसा ही बैंक से लेता तो
हाँ.
उसके स्टॉक मार्केट में इन्वेस्टर्स मतलब इन्वेस्ट नहीं करते ना उसके शेयर्स में.
नहीं, आई एम नॉट आस्किंग. सी द टोटल कैपिटल दैट ही हैज टेकन इज हाउ मच? इज 19,055. दिस अमाउंट फ्रॉम इक्विटी. ये तो स्टॉक मार्केट से वगैरह उठाया उसने, ये पैसा उसने बैंक से उठाया.
हाँ सर, पर आपका बोलने का मतलब क्या है कि जो इक्विटी शेयर में जो उसने ये दिया ना रिटर्न्स ऑन इन्वेस्टमेंट, वो ज्यादा दिया कंपेयर टू बैंक में उसको कम में ही काम हो जाता है ऐसा?
वो तो मैं बोल ही रहा हूँ, लेकिन साथ
हाँ.
ही बोल रहा हूँ जो फिलहाल जो ब्याज दे रहे हैं वो 12% के हिसाब से ब्याज दे रहे हैं. कौन देता है 12% के हिसाब से ब्याज?
बैंक 60% पे देती
7 तक. वही मैं बोल रहा हूँ ना, जो बैंक 7% पे देती है. ये तो बैलेंस शीट में लिखा है. मैं अपना आई एम नॉट, मैं मन से अपना फिगर नहीं निकाल के डाल रहा हूँ. हाँ, देखिए यहाँ पे फाइनेंस कॉस्ट लिखा है ना इस पे.
यस सर.
नहीं, हु डज दैट टाइप ऑफ स्टुपिडिटी? ज्यादा ब्याज दोगे, ज्यादा ब्याज देके टैक्स नहीं बचता है. ठीक है, फुलिश. तुम भी ना ऐसे मारवाड़ी बन जाएगी वहां पे कंपनी में, लूटेगी कंपनी को. So something is strange, and all these companies, usually when I open up the balance sheet, it's all disheartening, okay? Because you always look at the damn balance sheet and some shit like this never makes sense. It just doesn't make sense. I go crazy. I try to pull my hair wondering what the hell is wrong. But that is how the things are. So if you look at the company, it's a loss-making company. Stock price is going up. Finance cost at 12%. Obviously loss-making company रहेगी. देखते कितना loss किया इन सालों लोगों ने. Okay. Now if you look at the P&L, the company has made total expenses, profit and loss. Profit and loss, they made 2,300 crore loss. At least they could have saved 700 crore. The loss could have been 1,400 crore or something as the losses, but they made 2,300 crore as losses. So this is the world we live in. Can't help it. I am assistant professor. That guy is CFO, and no doubt वो मेरी बात सुनेगा नहीं. Probably not now, but one day he will. And I hope you guys have learned something. We are almost out of time. We just have another 2-3 minutes. So if you have any questions regarding the balance sheet, regarding any doubts, any problems, you please let me know right now, and I will try and solve this for you. Otherwise, we'll call it a day. Quits. Oh, guys, once again, attendance. Let me take attendance also. Okay, I got the attendance also. Any questions, people?
No, sir.
No
No,
questions?
sir.
Seriously? Look at the balance sheet. Okay, so what will happen is for P&L and balance sheet, I will give you the balance sheet of a company and I will ask you to derive certain information from them. Okay, so I may ask you why this is like this and why this is like that, and you should be able to answer the questions. Okay? Clear? So with that, thank you very much. I hope you guys had a great time, you enjoyed yourselves, and I will see you in the following week. All the best. Whatever I've taught till now will come for your exam whenever the exam is held. Next Friday is the exam. So yes, by next Friday, whatever I've taught till now will come for exam. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Okay, sir.
The
Thank you.
Bye,
attendance.
sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Bye.
sir.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. See ya. I took
Sir,
attendance.
attendance.
I took attendance, Ria. I know that's the only thing you're interested in. Okay.
No, sir. Sir, I am interested in both lecture as well as attendance.
Oh, okay. That's why you missed all my lectures in the last semester. Correct. You missed
No,
both
sir,
my
there was
lectures and my
problem.
attendance. Okay, yes, Ria, I understand. Okay. ठीक है.
Okay,
Okay,
sir.
Ria.
Thank
Take
you,
care.
sir.
Bye-bye.
Bye.